So I'm just going through my Instagram DMs as usual, trying to find a story to tell on the channel. And I'm just looking around, casually browsing, and I find the mother of all stories. I open up an Instagram message, and the tagline says, "My cousin got me pregnant." And I was like, hey, yo, what? Huh? And I had to read this story, and I have to read this story to you. I have to do it. Like, there's just no question about it. So sit back, relax, leave a like in the video to claim your free nothing, subscribe, and let's get into this interesting story. Anyways, right, so this story all starts out when the subscriber who sent in today's story, who somehow got pregnant from their what the fuck? Anyways, let me just compose myself. This story started when the subscriber went to this summer camp. And, the subscriber went to this summer camp, and it was a sleepaway camp, and it was 1 week long. And while the subscriber was at this camp, she met this guy, right? She met this guy who, was just, like, fun, good-looking, just a nice, all-around, just, like, everything like a girl wants in a guy. So we're going to call this guy Ben, because it's kind of a meme on the channel for me to use that name. But anyways, right, ever since the start of the camp, right, Ben and the subscriber, they were just hitting it off. Like, they were doing activities together. They were having a fun time, like, and only a couple days in, right, they kind of, they have mutual friends, and they talk to their mutual friends about how they got, like, feelings for each other. And the mutual friends decide to break it to them both that, like, they have mutual, like, feelings for each other. And it's like, life is just really good, man. Like, things are just going really well for both of them. And, yeah, anyways, it's a pretty fun summer camp, but it's also just a week long. And I need to say this with keeping ads on the video. By the end of the last day, they have a very big, personally, those two individually have a very big celebration together. And by celebration, I mean they celebrate with a certain activity. And by certain okay, you get what I mean. And if you don't get what I mean, then you don't get what I mean. But I think a lot of you guys, you understand what I'm trying to allude to. Man, I'm just trying to keep ads on this video. I got 15 pugs at home to feed. Don't, bro, don't take it personally. I'm just doing my best out here. But anyways, right, it's the end of the camp, and, they're just kind of, they're talking to each other, and they realize that they're probably not going to see each other again, or it's going to be very difficult to. So, they exchange Instagram, they exchange Snapchat, right, and they say to each other, like, or at least the subscriber tells, like, Ben, like, hey, like, I'm really sad, like, I'm not going to be able to see you. I'm really sad that, we're really not going to be able to talk again. And Ben's like, because, they lived, like, states away from each other. So many, many hours away a drive, like a car ride away. And they just both kind of agreed that, like, long-distance relationships weren't really it for both of them. And at that point, they just kind of came to the conclusion that whatever they had was, like, really just a nice little kind of, like, summer fling, like a little fun thing that happened at a camp. But, honestly, the subscriber was kind of sad about the whole thing, because she was like, I don't know, like, you're just really cool. You're, like, really unlike anyone else, like, that I've ever talked to. You're just, like, I mean, you're good looking, you're nice, you're caring, you're fun. Like, it's everything, man. Like, I'm going to miss you on that. And, Ben, said back to the subscriber, like, I'm going to miss you too. Like, don't get it wrong. I'm going to miss you too for sure. And anyways, unfortunately, or I mean, maybe not unfortunately, bro, but eventually, right, the subscriber's parents comes to pick them up. Ben's parents come to pick him up, pretty, like, soon after. And, they're driving back. All right, so this is where the story starts to get weird. And when I mean weird, I mean very, very weird. And I personally can't do it alone. Like, I can't power through this story alone. So I'm going to pass over part of the story to my friend KEID. His channel is linked in the description. He makes really good stuff. Please make sure to go and ensure that you are subscribed to him. But anyways, KEID, take it away.
What's up? I'm KEID Boy. So over on my channel, I react to the weirdest, like, worst content that you could ever imagine. So my tolerance for weird shit is honestly just through the roof. So whenever Connor ran over to me and asked me to tell the rest of this story about somebody who got pregnant from their cousin, I was like, you know what, Connor? I can do this. I got you, bro. It's not as if I have any brain cells left to lose anyways. I would appreciate it if you guys could go over and subscribe to my channel, though, because I'm about to go through hell for all of you guys. So as the camp was coming to an end, Connor's subscriber ended up getting Ben's Snapchat so they can still keep in contact after they both left, which they did the whole entire ride home. They were texting each other back and forth, sometimes getting a little flirty, whatever. It really seemed as if they were going to have a good relationship moving forward. They both really had feelings for each other, it seemed. So after a little bit of a drive, they both get home, and Ben texts the subscriber and says that, he's pretty tired from camp and all that. He's gonna go take a nap. So they stop texting for a bit, and the subscriber's just chilling in her house, just watching TV. And after about an hour or two, she receives a snap from Ben. So of course she opens up the snap and she finds that Ben has something very important that they need to talk about. So, of course she asks Ben, what's going on here? Like, what's the problem? What do we need to talk about? Is everything okay? Blah, blah, blah. And Ben says that he doesn't want to do this over text or anything and that he needs to give her a call. So he drops his phone number and the subscriber ends up calling him. So while Ben was in his bed, he was on his phone, as most people are before they take a nap or whatever, and he was doing some digging on the subscriber. I'm guessing just to see like whether or not she was actually a good person, if she's done anything bad, if she has another boyfriend or something like that, just the usual stuff to make sure that this person is okay and you can move forward with the relationship, all of that. And during his research, he found some information that, well, was really bad. So she gives Ben a call, and literally the second she presses dial, Ben has already answered. And whenever Ben answered, he sounded absolutely mortified. The subscriber thought that Ben had a serious emergency going on. It sounded like he was absolutely terrified, and she was very, very worried about him. So she's like yelling at him like, are you okay? What's the matter? What's the problem? Is everything okay? All of that. And Ben starts to explain that whenever he was in bed, he was doing some research on her just to make sure that she wasn't like cheating or anything like that. This got the subscriber really angry. She was really upset about this, like wondering why he didn't trust her, which, I mean, I get it. Usually if you're dating someone, you do research on them just to see, if they're a good person, like I said earlier. And I think that's pretty reasonable. You could at least look at their Facebook or Instagram or stuff like that. You don't have to go dig super deep and like stalk them or anything. But I do think that it is reasonable to look at the person who you're going to be in relationships with, social media pages and stuff like that, which is what Ben did. So eventually she just asks Ben to spill it, tell her what he found, tell her what the problem is, what she did wrong. And Ben starts bawling his eyes out. She can hear him crying a storm. Now she doesn't know how to react. She's not saying a single word. And Ben eventually asks her a question. He asks the subscriber what her grandfather's name is. And though she was very confused about this question, she still told Ben the name of her grandfather. And once she told Ben the name, she could hear Ben crying even harder. It sounded like he was having a panic attack or something. It was just very scary for her. And eventually Ben murmurs out the words, "That's my grandfather too." For those of you who don't know, people who share the same grandparents are actually cousins. So that means that these two were literally cousins. As you heard in Connor's part of the story, they did stuff, dude. Like, they did some really close stuff. And it's not like they knew that they were cousins. This is just something that they found out after the fact. Like, that's truly traumatizing. I couldn't even imagine finding out that the girl that I just, kicked it off with was my cousin. Like, honestly, I feel really, really bad for the two of them. Anyways, Connor's gonna come back and finish the rest of the story. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It's linked down below in the description. I'll also probably leave a comment so you'll see it down there. And yo, Connor, talk again if you smell like shit.
Joke's on you, KEID. I still need to take a shower. Anyways, make sure you sub to KEID. He'll be in the description. But yeah, so this is very not based right now. This is very bad. In the story, it gets worse. I don't know how, but it does. Anyways, right, so yeah, as I was saying, it does get worse. And so she eventually is like, oh wow, like, wow, that's really, like, wow. So she hangs up the phone, or they part ways being like, okay, well, we really can't ever see each other again then. Hopefully we don't see each other at a family reunion. But anyways, right, she's like, okay, like, hangs up the phone, is kind of freaking out a little bit, but is like, all right, you know what? I'm just not going to think about it. We're chilling, like, that's in the past, we're good. However, right, over the next couple days, she starts feeling like, sick in the morning. She's like, oh no, bro. And also, like, something that happens to not guys every month was, like, delayed. And she was like, oh no, bro, there ain't no way, bro. No shot. But yeah, anyways, she's starting to feel sick in the morning, like all of these things. And so she eventually decides, like, all right, I need to get a test. Like I need to get a test to see if I'm if I'm pregnant, bro, because that would be bad in general because she just wasn't ready for anything like that. But with the news, the knowledge she just received, dude, that not good. Not good alert. That'd be an spaghetti-o moment, if you know what I mean. Anyways, right, she doesn't want to do this all alone, or the subscriber doesn't want to do this all alone, and I can definitely understand that. This is most definitely a stressful period in her life. So she she calls up one of her very, very, very closest friends, probably her best friend, and explains the situation, kind of gives like the story that KEID and I just gave for the last like 10 minutes or so. And the friend is good. Like the friend isn't cracking any of the jokes. The friend isn't like, how, like, oh, that's so gross or whatever. The friend is like, okay, what do you need me to do? Which honestly, if someone was to present you with something like ridiculous and crazy like this, you just got to be like, okay, whatever you need me to do, I shall do. I got you. So anyways, right, her friend and her go to the drugstore, buy the test, and they go back to the friend's house. They don't go back to the subscriber's house because, the subscriber's like, I cannot let my mom see, like, no, she can't, she just can't know about this, right? And so they go to the subscriber's house and, they do the test and, the subscriber's like, I don't even want to look at this. Just like, I need you to figure this out for me. So the friend of the subscriber is like looking at the test, waiting. I don't actually know how these tests work, dude. I'm going to be honest. I've never had to buy one at like 3 in the morning or anything. So I just don't know how that works. But however it works, right? This one at least took a little bit. Like it took like, I don't know, at least a minute, maybe more, maybe. It wasn't immediate is what I'm trying to say. So the subscriber's friend has it, and the subscriber is waiting in like the friend's room, just sitting on her bed on TikTok just to try and distract herself. But her heart is racing at like 300 beats per second. She's sweating. Like this is probably one of the most nerve-wracking and most like stressful moments she's ever been in. And her friend walks into the room, and her friend is good about this. She isn't dramatic about this. She doesn't draw it out or anything. She just straight up tells her, it's negative, you're good. And my God, the subscriber was telling me, bro, the waves of relief, like the stress that just melted from her, like her system, dude. It was apparently like one of the most like euphoric moments of her life. Like no substance, no like good grades, no nothing, like no amazing food or anything will ever give her that sense of just joy and just happiness at that moment, dude. And apparently, right, all the symptoms of being pregnant was really just symptoms of stress. And I've heard other stories of this, like sometimes stress symptoms and pregnancy symptoms could be very similar. Like they can offset rhythms and they can make you sick or whatever. And obviously, right, if you just learn some very interesting information, bro, I'd be pretty stressed out too. But anyways, this story, wild, crazy, but it ended just okay. Subscribe if you haven't already, drop a like in the video, and if you want to support the channel, click on one of the 4 videos on screen right now, or just go watch another one of my videos. Thank you, peace.